If you don't want to end up like everyone else, stressed, overworked, and wondering where all your money went, you need to understand the number one wealth killer that almost no one talks about. It's not taxes, it's not your rent, it's not even your morning coffee habit. It's something far more deceptive, because it looks like success. Take a look around. Every driveway, every Instagram story, every commute. There it is, the shiny new car. For most people, a car is the biggest status symbol they own. But beneath that polished surface, there's a truth that's quietly wrecking people's futures. See, cars are emotional purchases, disguised as logical ones. We convince ourselves we're buying reliability or convenience, but deep down, it's about identity, about looking like we've made it. The problem is, the car that's making you look rich is the very thing keeping you from becoming rich. Think about this. The average new car now costs nearly $48,000, yet it loses up to 15% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. By the end of the first year, you've already burned thousands of dollars. Marketers know this. They sell cars the same way luxury brands sell identity. You're not buying transportation, you're buying validation. You're buying a version of yourself that you want others to see. That's why people finance cars they can't afford. They're chasing the feeling of success instead of the reality of it. And here's the thing. It's not just about the car, it's about what it represents. The constant pressure to spend, to upgrade, to appear like you're doing better than you actually are. Every financial decision that's driven by appearance rather than purpose is a step away from freedom. There's a quiet crisis happening right now, and most people don't even realize they're part of it. Over the past 2 decades, car debt has exploded to levels that would have been unimaginable just a generation ago. In 2005, total auto loan debt in the US was around $720 billion. Fast forward 5 years, it climbed to $850 billion. By 2020, it had nearly doubled again, reaching $1.38 trillion. And today, in 2025, it sits at a staggering $1.62 trillion. That's more than the GDP of countries like Australia or Spain, tied up in cars that are losing value every single day. This didn't happen overnight. For decades, automakers and lenders have perfected a system that keeps people comfortably trapped. They turned cars into emotional trophies, proof that you're doing well. Leasing became smart, 7-year financing became normal, and rewarding yourself became an excuse for debt. We even have a name for this now, being car poor. It's when your car looks like success, but your bank account tells a different story. You're making just enough to cover your car payment, insurance, and gas, but not enough to invest, save, or build wealth. It's like running on a treadmill that never stops. You work, you earn, you spend, and you stay in the same place, because every dollar you make is already promised to a car that's worth less every month. The cruel irony? Most people climb into that car every morning believing it represents freedom, when in reality, it's often a beautifully designed financial cage on wheels. Most people don't fall into the car trap because they're reckless. They fall because cars trigger something deeply human, the desire to be seen. When you drive a new car, it's not just metal and wheels. It's a reflection of who you believe you are or who you wish to become. It signals competence, confidence, success. That's why even people drowning in debt still crave upgrades. The car promises a shortcut to self-worth, a way to feel wealthy without having to actually be. Social pressure amplifies this. Nobody claps when you drive an old Toyota that's paid off, but pull up in a new BMW and suddenly everyone assumes you've made it. That subtle validation triggers the same dopamine hit as achievement, only cheaper, faster, and temporary. Marketers understand this better than anyone. They don't sell horsepower, they sell belonging. They don't show you rush hour traffic, they show you freedom. They make you associate spending with confidence, so much that restraint feels like failure. That's how ordinary people end up financing lifestyles they can't sustain. The car becomes a mirror reflecting who they want to be, while quietly hiding who they're becoming. A person working harder and keeping less. Here's where the illusion of affordability collapses. Most people only look at the sticker price, the number glowing on the windshield. But the real cost of owning a car hides beneath that surface, quietly draining your finances month after month. Take the Honda Civic, one of the most popular cars among young buyers. On paper, it costs about $27,800, a reasonable price by today's standards. Yet over 5 years, the total cost of ownership climbs to nearly $47,000. How? Start with depreciation. Around $11,000 gone just because time passes. Then insurance, roughly $12,000 more, even for drivers with perfect records. Add fuel, over $6,000 to keep it moving. Financing adds another $4,700 in interest, assuming you have decent credit. Maintenance, taxes, and surprise repairs pile on several thousand more. Suddenly, your affordable car has eaten the equivalent of an entire year's salary, and that's before considering the missed opportunities that money could have created. The painful truth is that you don't own your car, it owns you. It dictates how much you must earn, how long you must work, and how little you can save. And the price isn't just financial, it's psychological. Because every payment is a reminder that comfort today often costs freedom tomorrow. Here's the part that most people never think about: the cost of what could have been. When you pour money into a car, you're not just losing dollars to depreciation, you're giving up the chance for those dollars to grow. That's called opportunity cost, and it's the invisible force that quietly separates the rich from everyone else. Imagine two people. One buys that affordable Honda Civic, paying about $780 per month over 5 years. The other invests the same amount into an S&P 500 index fund instead. Historically, the market returns around 10% a year. After 5 years, that investment would be worth roughly $60,000, while the car buyer is left with a vehicle worth just $19,000. That's a $40,000 gap, and most people repeat this cycle every few years without realizing it. Now imagine if that same money were used to start a small business, buy dividend stocks, or fund a rental property. The potential multiplies, not just in money, but in freedom. Because when your cash works for you, time begins to open up. Every dollar has a job. The question is whether it's working to impress people today or to liberate you tomorrow. Even with all this information available, people keep falling into the same trap. Again and again. Not because they don't understand the numbers, but because logic never stood a chance against emotion. Money decisions aren't made in spreadsheets. They're made in moments of impulse, pride, and insecurity. You see a new car, smell that fresh start, and your brain floods with dopamine. Suddenly, monthly payments feel like a small price for the confidence it promises. That's how debt sells. It doesn't appeal to reason, it appeals to identity. And society reinforces it at every turn. We're taught to equate success with appearance, not stability. The person driving the luxury car earns respect, not the one quietly compounding their savings. You rarely see delayed gratification go viral. You see highlight reels of comfort, not the discipline that created it. That's why people choose the image over the outcome. The momentary pride of looking wealthy wins over the invisible reward of becoming wealthy. Until the bills arrive, the glow fades and the cycle begins again. Breaking free requires a different mindset, one that values time and freedom over attention and applause. Because the game isn't about looking rich, it's about never having to pretend. Escaping the car trap doesn't mean living without one, it means buying it intelligently. Because when done right, owning a car can fit into your life instead of controlling it. The first step is buying in the sweet spot, around 3 to 4 years old, with 30,000 to 40,000 miles. By that time, the car has already taken its biggest appreciation hit, but it's still modern, reliable, and often under warranty. A vehicle that once cost $35,000 might sell for $24,000, an instant $11,000 saved just by letting someone else take the initial loss. Next, follow the 15% rule. All transportation costs, your payment, insurance, fuel, and maintenance, should never exceed 15% of your monthly income. If you earn $3,000, your total car expenses should stay below $450. Anything beyond that starts eating into your ability to invest and grow. Finally, keep it for the long haul. The real wealth is built when you drive your car long after it's paid off. Those extra years without payments can free up hundreds per month, thousands per year to invest. Compounded over time, those small decisions can become a house, a portfolio, or even early retirement. Every financial decision is a trade, comfort now or freedom later. Most people don't realize they're making that trade every time they finance a car, swipe a credit card, or stretch a paycheck to look the part. But the truth is simple. The price of appearing successful is often the cost of becoming it. A car isn't just metal and wheels. It's a mirror reflecting your relationship with money. It shows whether you buy for validation or for value, whether you use money as a tool or let it use you. Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't to own more things, it's to own your time. The people who quietly build wealth understand this. They delay gratification. They value flexibility over flash. While others chase symbols of success, they're stacking assets that give them choices: to work less, travel more, or simply breathe without financial anxiety. So before you sign that next loan or upgrade your ride, ask yourself, is this purchase moving me closer to freedom or further from it? If this video helped you see money differently, take a second to hit the like button. It really supports the channel. And if you're ready to stop chasing the illusion of success and start building real freedom, subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.